guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to learn about indices. These are a few things that we are going to learn today. First, we are going to learn about introduction to indices. Then we are going to look at the law of indices, and finally, solving questions involving indices. When we write a to the power of n, a is the base, n is the index, or we can call it as exponent or power. A to the power of n can be described as a multiplied by itself for n times, where a is not equals to 0. Let's look at the first law of indices, zero index. When a is raised to the power of 0, you will always get 1, given that a is not equals to 0. Let's look at the second law, negative index. A to the power of negative n equals to 1 over a to the power of n, given that a is not equals to 0. Let's look at the third law, fractional index. A to the power of 1 over n equals to n root of a. For a to the power of m over n, you can write it in two ways. First, n root of a raised to the power of m, or n root of a to the power of m. Let's look at the fourth law. When we multiply the powers with the same base, all you need to do is just add the indices. Let's look at this example. A to the power of m multiply a to the power of n equals to a to the power of m plus n. Let's look at the fifth law. When we divide the powers with the same base, we need to subtract the indices. A to the power of m divided by a to the power of n equals to a to the power of m minus n. Let's look at the sixth law. When we raise a power to a power, we need to multiply the indices. For example, a to the power of m raised to the power of n equals to a to the power of m multiply n. Let's look at the seventh law. Product of the powers equals to power of the product, given that you have the same index. For example, a to the power of m multiply b to the power of m equals to ab to the power of m. Let's look at the eighth law. Fraction of the powers equals to power of the fraction, given that you have the same index. For example, a to the power of m divided by b to the power of m equals to a divided by b raised to the power of m. Let's look at the first question. Evaluate each of the following. 25 raised to the power of 3 over 2 equals to square root of 25 raised to the power of 3. Here we are using the fractional index law, and you get the final answer 125. Let's look at the second question. 16 to the power of negative 3 over 4. We can write it as 2 to the power of 4 raised to the power of negative 3 over 4. When the power is raised to another power, you just need to multiply the index and you get 2 to the power of negative 3. Use the negative index law and you get the final answer 1 over 8. Let's look at this question. Simplify each of the following. 4 raised to the power of 7 over 3 multiply 4 raised to the power of negative 2. For multiplication with the same base, you need to add the index and you get 4 to the power of 7 over 3 plus negative 2. You get the final answer 4 raised to the power of 1 over 3. Let's look at this question. 3 to the power of 2n minus 1 divided by 3 raised to the power of n plus 5. For division with the same base, you need to subtract the index. So you get 3 to the power of 2n minus 1 minus n minus 5. And you get the final answer 3 to the power of n minus 6. Now let's try this question. To solve this question, since all the bases are different, first you need to convert all the bases to a same number, which is 3, since 3 is the factor for number 9 and 27. Then you can solve this question. Remember, for multiplication, you need to add the index. For division, you need to subtract the index, and you get the final answer 3 raised to the power of 2n. Use the same method and try this question. Let's look at this question. Find the value of x. 4 to the power of x equals to 0.5. First, you need to convert the number to be an exponent, and you need to make sure the base is the same. In this case, 2 to the power of 2x equals to 2 to the power of negative 1. Equate the index and you will get 2x equals to negative 1, and you get the final answer x equals to negative half. Use the same method and try this question. Let's look at this question. Solve the equation 2 to the power of 3x equals to 12 minus 2 to the power of 3x minus 1. If you look closely, all the exponents in this question are not in division or multiplication form, so you cannot use the method Indices law to answer this question. But you can use the substitution method to answer this question. Let's look at this method. 2 to the power of 3x equals to 12 minus 2 to the power of 3x divided by 2. Let y equals to 2 to the power of 3x. So you get y equals to 12 minus y divided by 2. And you get y equals to 8. Therefore, 2 to the power of 3x equals to 8. And finally you get x equals to 1. Now use the substitution method to answer this question. Remember, a to the power of n is always positive, given that a is positive. Now let's try this question. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.